Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at a couple of One Piece lore moments and ask ourselves, did Oda actually plan this or did it just happen to work out? Now we're not going to be looking at the stuff that clearly developed over time, as we all know that One Piece is an incredibly long story. Instead, we're focusing on those moments where you can't help but go, well, that was a little too convenient. Let's start with the man himself, Gold Roger, or should I say Gol D Roger. I've always been a little suspicious of this one. I genuinely believe his name was originally Gold Roger, playing off the idea of gold and treasure. Then somewhere down the line, Oda started crafting the concept of the Wheel of D, and suddenly it just worked out that he was actually Gol D Roger. Was this planned from day one? Honestly, I doubt it. It feels more like the lore evolved and that the name change was a lucky retcon. So that kind of sets the tone for what I'll be talking about in this video. The One Piece itself. Before the time skip, the story felt way more focused on pirates versus marines, adventure and freedom. The treasure itself seemed like your typical legendary pirate loot. But as the story evolved, so did the idea of what the One Piece actually is. Now there's this general community understanding that it's more than just treasure, something deeper, maybe even something world-changing. To be fair, we still don't know what the One Piece is, but it definitely feels like the concept matured as the story went on. Now let's talk about Luffy's Devil Fruit. There's no way you can convince me this wasn't a retcon. For years we knew Luffy had the Gomu Gomu no Mi, a rubber fruit. That was the deal. The way he used it, the creativity behind it, it all fit that goofy, rubbery identity. Then suddenly it's like, surprise, it's actually a mythical Zoan fruit tied to the sun god Nika. It reminds me of the Gold Roger name thing. I think the shift worked narratively, but it feels like Oda changed his mind later on to align Luffy's powers with the grander mythos of the story. Honestly, I still think of it as a rubber fruit, but I'll save the full breakdown of this one for another video. But this connects me to my next point, Luffy as Joy Boy. In the early days, Luffy was just a boy chasing his dream of becoming Pirate King. There was no hint of reincarnation, chosen one energy, or ancient prophecy. Now it feels like he's the successor to Joy Boy, linked to a forgotten history and tied to an inherited will. It's a cool angle, but it definitely feels like a narrative pivot that came later once Oda built out the Void Century and Poneglyph lore. Personally, I liked it better when Luffy just happened to have the Joy Boy vibe, not because of destiny, but because of who he was. The ancient weapons. Let's talk ancient weapons, Pluton, Poseidon and Uranus. This definitely feels like something Oda expanded on later. At first they felt like theoretical world-ending devices, but then they were tied to characters and entire nations. Again, we still don't know what the full extent of their power or purpose is, so we'll have to see where that goes. And last but not least, Imu. For the longest time, we thought the Gorosei were the top of the world government food chain. That made sense. Then, out of nowhere, Oda drops Imu, this shadowy figure who sits on the supposedly empty throne. It was a massive low bomb, and yeah, I don't think there were any early hints to Imu's existence. But you know what? This is one of those additions I actually really liked. It raised the stakes, added a mysterious endgame boss, and opened the door for even more ties to the ancient kingdom. So those are a few lore points I think either changed over time or just happened to line up a little too perfectly. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with some of these? Are there other parts of the story that feel a bit too convenient to you? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.